What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the first ever rendition of Market Watch Mondays. My name is Juju. I'll be your host for today. So if you are following on this channel, you probably play Gods Unchained. What we're going to do today is we're going to just analyze what's going on with the market currently. I'm not, obviously, because there's so many cards, I'm not going to go over every cards. I'm just going to call out what's been going on with certain cards that have a lot of movement or popular cards within the meta. But anyways, it's just an overall general thing. Market is up for the most part. There are some pretty crazy spikes over the weekend due to some changes in the meta. Sleep Deception is always good. Stall is always good. Light Zoo also became pretty good. And you'll see that other decks as well have been doing pretty well. And this is why you'll see a couple spikes here and there. Divine Order card spiked. Trial of the Gods cards have also spiked, as well as Genesis. I believe there are one or two cards that went down in value, but I'm not too sure if I have them right now. As you can see on my screen, we have 57 tabs open. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. First card is Archangel Bruiser. This card spiked over the weekend. It went from about 38 to 65. Not bad. That's about a 100% increase. Frenzied Aggro War is really good, so I'm not surprised that so many people are buying this card right now. Armor Lurker. This is one of the hidden armor cards for Deception. It's pretty good. It's 3/1 and you get 2 armors. 2 armor is a pretty busted stat to have, especially as a 2-drop. So very resistant to removal, and it gets hidden, so it can't get sniped early on. Prison Escapee, along with the other order cards, it spiked last week over the weekend. This deck has seen some play for the most part. It's just a swarm card for the most part, but it's good, and it has a guild tag, so it has some synergy there. Giant Pangolin. All right, this card has been on the rise for a while now. As we said with the previous card, Armor 2 is busted. It's a busted stat line, and it gets blitz. I mean, obviously the confused is a drawback, but it's a free attack. And it trades well with most minions, so it's pretty good. Same with Brazen Moose, 5 mana 6/6 blessed, can get you some good favor here. Also confuses drawback, but it's not really a drawback because you're just gonna attack with a 6 attack minion, which is really nice. All right, you got Moonlight Charm. At the end of your turn, you are frenzied, give 2/2, strongest creature, -1 to this relic. Pretty good, especially how easy it is to activate frenzy with wild decks. No surprise there. Cursed Obelisk. Zombie has been gaining some popularity, as have the cards. Look at this. 200 over the weekend. That's pretty wild. Radiant Dawn. Zoo Light actually got a 25 out of 25 for ranked wins over the weekend. Shout out to Kujo Clutch, I believe. He was the guy who got the 25 perfect record. Yeah, this card is pretty good in Zoo Light. One, it beats out sleep decks, right? You lose sleep, and also it buffs all your minions to insane amounts of health, and it's pretty good in an aggro deck. Golden Wing Sphinx. This card also saw play in Sambam's deck. I saw Sambam playing this card, but also Crypto Kujo also did have this in his list, I believe. There's no drawback. It's a 5 mana 4/5 with frontline. Give your god protective on the turn you play it, but then also give protected to your creatures when it dies. And that could be a really good thing, because it has frontline and it needs to die before your other creatures get the buff. CERN. Oh, CERN. CERN is a great card. It's basically your refill mechanic, or when you need to replenish your hand, you play this card. So good. Inflict Order 3, then heal each friendly character for 2. It's seeing a spike right now. No surprise there. Really solid card. Lantern-Bound Fae, going along with these order decks. Yeah, spike happened last week, and it's been continuing, so shout out to Lantern-Bound Fae. All right, now we're going on to the Trial of the Gods set. Valknir Weaponsmith, Twin Strike if you have a Relic equipped, 1 strength. I think War is just gaining popularity, so people are just buying out the Vikings. Makes sense. Fenris Berserker, this card has some viability in this meta because there's so many, every deck pretty much uses a Relic. Not bad as a 3 mana 4/3, that's also a Viking. Militant Gladiator, this can be an 8/5 or 5 mana 8/5, which has a lot of potential. It's also a rare, so that warrants the price spike. But yeah, the buyout's there. Bladesworn Warrior, if you have a Relic equipped, give God Blitz to this creature. God Blitz is nothing to scoff at, so that's pretty nice, and it's also a Viking, so it has that tag. Lead the Charge, there's a buyout there. If you have a Relic equipped, set the strength of your creature is equal to the Relic strength. What? If you have a Relic equipped, set the strength of your creatures equal to the Relic strength, otherwise draw a card. Okay, so yeah, this could be a finisher in some decks. That's pretty interesting. It's an epic in Trial. Huh. Interesting card. You should keep an eye on that. Nether Nanny, whether this creature survives damage, summon a 1/1 Impling. Okay, it has some implications. There's a big buyout here, December 19th. Pharaoh's Body Double, trigger the afterlife of a friendly Anubian. This card also had a buyout. Someone bought 41 cards of it. Not too bad. It does have some negative synergies with Pyramid Warden, so watch out for that. Mindful Orc, this card has been seeing an increase in buyouts recently. It spiked. Oh, that's like a $4 spike. It's like $2 spike. It's a pretty good card, especially if you're playing like a slower deck and you need something to play on turn 3. 3 mana 2/6 is nothing to scoff at. Rebirth Planetar, at the end of your turn, add a random Aether from your void to your hand. You also experience a buyout. I don't really understand this one, but you know what? You do you. You do you, people. Hollow Pillager, when an enemy creature dies, add a random anim, enchanted relic, or rune to your hand. It's a 3 mana 2/1 that's also a Viking. I can kind of see why people bought it out, but not really. Petard Elder, Afterlife, deal 2 damage to a random enemy creature. It's Afterlife effect, 3 mana 3/2. Someone bought 41 copies of this. I think they're just stocking up on Genesis cards. Oh, we're in Genesis now. We totally skipped that part. Now that we're on the Genesis phase, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that most of these cards are going to spike in the future. Even though the buyouts have happened for most of these, I think they're still going to happen just based on how the resistance is. Anyways, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Just wait for that. Nice. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of ASMR. Moving on. Bone Pact Hunter, give a friendly Amazon 3 strength. Amazons have been coming back into the fray, so this buyout at 32 seems pretty interesting. Amputation Magus, I can't say that. Backline, when a friendly creature dies, add a random rune to your hand. Seems pretty interesting. There's a buyout here. I think someone's just buying the dip. Malfunctioning Servitor, transform another random enemy creature. No, another random creature into a 1/5 or a 5/1 Malfunctioning Artifice. It's Atlantean. It's a 3 mana 3/3, pretty baseline stats. The value of this is being able to turn a weaker creature into a stronger creature, or turning a very strong creature into a weaker creature, depending on if you want the 5/1 or the 1/5. So it has transform effects you never want to undervalue. Angelic Veteran, whenever you summon a creature with 2 strength, give it protected. We see the spike with the advent of all the Zoo Light that's been going on. Seems like a decent add, but also there could be better spots to add for that 4 mana place. Iron Tooth Goblin, always a good card. 2 mana, remove 3 durability from your opponent's relics. Now that every deck has been pretty much running a relic, it makes sense to see the spike. It's kind of crazy though, because this card's a common, and it went from essentially $3, $4 to a peak at 15. So that's about what, 200%, 300% increase? I don't know. I don't want to do the math right now, but it's pretty good. This card's always good. I'd be wary about buying more though, because there's a ton of walls here. You see a wall, you see some resistance at 1155, 1195, and then you see more resistance at 1423. So it's likely we'll stay at this price for a while. Synergy Golem, it's an epic. It's from the Genesis set. Epics from the Genesis set will see like lots of buyouts. I think it does have some implications, but not too many. If you can find a deck that makes it work, then great, because 3 mana 3/4 as an Atlantean is pretty good. Swashbuckler, Twin Strike, deal 1 damage, guild 1. There's a buyout today. 61 cards are bought. Dang, at 953. As you can see, the price point is going to be here. We have a wall at 1297, so it's going to be hard to get over that. But if it does, it's you have another wall at 13, so it's probably going to stay around that 13 price point, if not drop, because I don't see a lot of volume going on here. Whoever's buying this out is probably just, I don't know. But I will say this card is kind of good. Kind of. It's a guild creature, but I think it's a good frenzied trigger. Like if you want to trigger a frenzy effect, you can just play this for 1 mana and deal 1 damage. But there are other cards that do the same thing and that are way cheaper. Mugging, target an enemy creature, summon 3 1/1 rogue skulkers to attack the target. Very good removal. If you destroy something with less than 3 health, you end up with an extra monster, which is always good. Yeah, there's a quick buyout during the weekend, but it didn't really affect the price, which is nice. And we have a wall at 1394, which is going to be hard to get over. Sign of Avarice, at the start of your turn, you gain the ability to use your god power twice during the turn. Mana costs still apply. Not bad. Could see some implications, especially with the cheaper mana costs. So, can work. 3's a crowd. Pull 2 enemy random creatures from the board into their controller's hand. Summon a 3/2 golem. There's a massive buyout here. 13. Well, it's not massive, but for an epic Genesis, it seems pretty massive. But yeah, now we see the price point is at 16. Scarab Swarm, after a creature dies, heal your god for 1. 12 are bought. Read the Leaves, 4C2, draw a card. I really like this card. I think we'll see more. We'll see a price spike pretty soon. Should probably buy some. That's good. Reap. Destroy target creature. Heal your god for 4. 91 copies were bought today at an average of 863. The lowest price you can get for it right now is 1967. This buyout, pretty good. I mean, you get to destroy anything and you get to heal your god for 4. Sleep, board wipe, death, whatever you want to call it, has been a pretty big factor in this meta, I would say. It's top deck right now. Canonize, Genesis common. Give a creature 3/3 unprotected. Card's so good. Spiked over the weekend because of the play in Zoo Light. It's pretty good card. Not gonna lie. Nolma, whenever this creature takes damage, deal 2 damage to your god. 5 mana, 7/6. Also another. Price has dropped, but there was a buyout. So the price is going to be a little inflated from what I see. Ragnarok, another great board wipe death card. Spiked over the weekend. We had a couple buyouts early, or in the past couple days, and it is peaking at about $40 right now, or $38.55. Not bad. Great card. Cudgel of Atonement, also Zoo Light. Buyouts started happening over the weekend. You see the price spike go from 22 to 53. Jesus, that's amazing. Respected Jarl, Blitz, Roar, give a friendly damage creature. Twin Strike and 1 strength. It's also a Viking, 2 mana, 2/1. Buyout here, probably someone that's like super hyped on Vikings, but I mean, it makes sense. It's an epic, it's Genesis, and when are you ever going to get like epic Genesis cards ever? Archimedes Mirror, very good card for Magic Ramp. Pretty much had some buyouts here. It's stabilized over at 60 though, so I'm not too sure what's going on. Maybe just someone was clearing up, trying to keep the price at 60. Ancient Texts. This card, 1 mana. Pick 1, deal 2 damage, or a friendly character becomes protected. This card is pretty good. Pretty good. uh, but it's because it's so cheap, but it also offers like some versatile options. It's a rare in the Genesis set, and yeah, basically this card spiked from well, we can go all time. This card was like what, $5, $3 in September, $5 in October, spiked all the way to like 60, which is kind of wild. But it makes sense. Genesis, 1 mana magic card, and it deals 2 damage. Not just to a creature, but it can also be for burn. Master Tactician. This card has a lot of buyouts this weekend. This is probably just a high volume traded card, but yeah, price is pretty much spiked. It peaked over at 102 this weekend, and yeah, it's really good. It's a war card. It's a Viking, gives your creatures flank, and it's protected, so it has some staying power. Not bad of a card. Demonic Offering. Destroy target friendly creature. Summon 2 random anims. They gave the tribe Nether. Pretty good card. Stayed pretty solid. No buyouts. Nothing to report here. I don't know why I put this on this list. Underbush Boar. Spiked over the weekend. 140. Jesus. But honestly, this is probably one of the best cards you can put in a wild deck right now. It's Confused at the end of the turn. It's 2 mana 2/3, but it's a free attack. And most cards that you'll play on curve with this will most likely trade favorably. So, pretty good card. I don't know if it justifies the price point, but who am I to judge? Gloam Druid. Your confused creatures get 2 strength. You see a little bit more activity over the weekend. I think people are just seeing the opportunity to buy at a cheaper price, and Gloam Druid is pretty good. Deception Unshrouded. We see buyouts here. It's a legendary from a Genesis set. Same with Avatar of Death. Have a couple of activity here. People are buying. Sulfuric Rain. Oh my god, yeah. Sulfuric Rain spiked so much. That is... Average was 158, but now our price is 195.13. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, it is a board wipe kind of card. Each creature gets burned 2 and afterlife draw a card. So it is what it is. Slice of the Harvest. This is a pretty good card as well. Epic from the Genesis set. Goes well in Frenzied Aggro War. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of buyouts, but it didn't really do much to the price, so I'm thinking people are just trying to control it. Avatar of Nature. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 walking plant. Pretty good card for wild decks. 5 mana 5/5 is pretty decent, and it doesn't get hindered by the confused effect, or the confused tag, which is pretty nice. Also will guarantee another minion, so it's technically a 5 mana 6/6 with that heals you for 4. It's not bad. Yeah, buyouts here, nothing too crazy. There's a little bit of a price spike right now, 368. It's actually underpriced from the 30-day moving average, which might be, or the 30-day average, which might be very interesting to keep an eye on. Highborn Knight. Okay, we're finally getting to all the juicy cards, which is nice. But Highborn Knight, frontline protected ward. This card is kind of strong, actually really strong. Ward is strong, protected is strong. Any cards that have those two together is pretty good. That monster is probably going to survive, or that creature is going to probably survive in the next couple turns. Compound that with the fact that light zoo decks have a lot of buff. This could go really well. And it has frontline, which is it'll protect all the other minions that were already there on the field, which is pretty nice. You see the buyouts here. We see that, dang, if you bought this card a week ago, you'd be able to sell this for 200, which is pretty nutty in my opinion. But also, I mean, I guess it's justified. Genesis Epic. It's an epic rare. It's from the Genesis set. Kind of makes sense. Really hard to obtain, but yeah, that's really expensive. Pyramid Warden also had a big spike today, or this weekend. We saw it go from about $300 to $473, which is crazy. Super good card. Obviously, I'm not going to give... Well, I mean, I think it's overvalued there are just so many ways to play around it. It's a great card, not gonna lie, and it is justified with the price point that it has. But there's so many ways to play around it. Like war decks can like ram their blitz minion, try to kill it with removal, and then resummon the blitz minion to trade with another minion, which is like some good counterplay. And then you also have Munisian Infiltrator, and that card trades favorably with it as well. So I don't know. There are a lot of ways to go around this card. I don't know if it justifies the $400 price point, but I mean, obviously the market's like buying into it. So we'll see how long this pans out. Avatar of War, $14. Lowest price is $12. There was a buyout earlier this weekend. This is probably one of the better of the Avatar legendaries, and it makes sense. It's also a Genesis card, so yeah, all these cards are going to be, I think the value is still going to stay. Apocalypse Now, destroy all creatures again. This card is busted. This card enables the whole like board wipe death genre of decks. So good. Like your minion has ward. Oh, sorry. Your minion has like protected. Nope. You know what I mean? Your minion has a death rattle that resummons itself. Nope. Doesn't work that way. So yeah, it's pretty good. And there's a buyout that happened. Dang, like if you vested this card 10 days ago, you would have doubled your money. You would have made $400. So kudos if you made that move. All right. Then we have Jason next. Jason actually has gone down. So you can get it for $1,600 right now out of the average, which was $2,000, which is a pretty good deal if you ask me, considering where this card has been. Yeah, its peak was in November at $3K. Can you imagine that? Jesus Christ. But yeah, great card, especially for fatigue decks or control decks. This will help you win. And then last but not least, Demogorgon. This card spiked over the weekend as well. We see it go from $1,000 to pretty much 17. I think the highest I saw it was 1711 over the weekend. It's consolidating right now, which is nice, but it looks like we'll be staying at this price point for a while as long as people stay consistent with the buying. All right. Dang, that was it. That was 57 cards going nonstop talking about Market Watch for NFT card game. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're on Twitch chat right now, I'm going to go ahead and answer your questions, but this is pretty much the time when I stop recording for the YouTube video. If you are watching this through YouTube, thank you for tuning in. I just want to give a quick disclaimer. This obviously isn't investing advice, or anything I say is not going to be investing advice. I'm just talking about like market conditions and all that stuff. So just a disclaimer right there. But if you like what you see and would like to see more of this, please like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Supporting the channel, liking, subscribing, and maybe even sharing the video would help out a lot, and it would also give me reason to do more of these in the future. But thanks for tuning in, YouTube and Twitch. Stay tuned.